How to build a professional LinkedIn profile in Kenya. In today's competitive job market, having a well-structured LinkedIn profile usually stands out to a lot of recruiters. So that is a topic that we will be looking into today, of how to make that LinkedIn profile for you to stand out to industry leaders. So the first one, having a professional photo. So by a professional photo here, I mean strictly a headshot. And how you dress also matters, because you have to dress professionally, because this is a professional platform. So it's not a social media page, it's a professional platform. So it has to be strictly professional and it has to be strictly a headshot. So that's number one, a professional photo. Number two, a catchy headline. So a catchy headline, this is what prompts even the recruiter to even get into your profile. So by the headline here, use strong terms such as, if you are, let's say for instance, you're a project management professional. So the headline there will be an experienced project manager, an expert project manager. But again, because if you just indicate project manager, you see they've come across so many terms of people who've done project management, but it has to stand out. That keyword in the headline has to stand out. If you've dealt with child protection, that bit also has to be there in the headline so that they know the kinds of projects you've been involved in. So remember, the headline has to be catchy. It shouldn't be basic, but a catchy headline that even when that recruiter is reading through, they're like, okay, this is someone I can work with, let's select this person. So that was number two, a catchy headline. Number three, a detailed about section. Now in the about section, I see so many people just including statements, but they don't give much depth into what they're doing career-wise. So this should contain your professional journey, what you've been doing through the years, the milestones that you achieved. Because remember, in that about section, you're already giving them a snippet of what to expect in the rest of the contents of your LinkedIn. So if that about section is not catchy, if it's not enticing, if the appropriate keywords also have not been considered there, you're already out. And you see with LinkedIn, when they're looking through LinkedIn, it's because of headhunting. So you find you didn't apply for that job, but then they interest you in a role. But it depends on how well you've structured the information. So the about section can easily rule you out within seconds. So it has to properly detail your professional journey. It has to strongly detail your professional journey. So that was number three. Number four, you have to have a customized LinkedIn URL. And by this, I mean that URL needs to contain your name. Never send a LinkedIn URL without your name. So you can easily do that in the settings, whereby you come up with an appropriate URL for your LinkedIn, because this will come in handy, especially when they indicate in an advert, we're looking for also include your LinkedIn URL. Because this is where they get a lot of candidates missing out, because you can just be ruled out just by the URL that you've provided. Because remember, the goal here is to give that recruiter that zeal to be interested into that profile. So the moment they see that link, it's not professionally crafted, you're already out also. So you need to have a customized LinkedIn URL. That was point number four. Point number five, include projects and publications. So if you've published articles, those bits, there's usually a section on LinkedIn where you feature that. Projects that you've undertaken as well, there's usually a section where you incorporate projects as well. So that is something that you also need to incorporate, because you see a lot of adverts will indicate you must have done some. Sometimes they specify the kinds of projects they are target. Like in the advert, there's some projects that they're targeting that people ought to have done. So if they go through your LinkedIn and they don't notice those projects, they don't notice those articles, you're already out. So there's usually that section where that bit also needs to be incorporated. So that was point number five. Point number six, we have networking. So in LinkedIn, it is very easy for you to get a job, but how you structure it matters a lot. So with networking, how you can easily land a job with networking here, you need to connect with recruiters, not job seekers. Because the more you connect with job seekers, chances are you'll stumble upon people who are even asking you for jobs in your firm. So it's very crucial the kind of people you connect with, because you remember, you need to know your target market. The target here is to get a job. And how do you do this? Look at what these HRs are posting on their profiles. The jobs because there are jobs that are usually urgently needed, and they usually post them on their LinkedIns before they even post them in their company websites. So when they see so-and-so is a connection, they'll be like, okay, let's see what John has done. Let's see what Mary has done. but again also how well it's structured. So connections will always go a long way. And not just, yes, you've connected with them, but also be active when you're commenting. Like comment on their posts, like their posts, because that also creates an impression. Be engaging. If they've posted content, be engaging. That will also stand out as well. Point number 7, joining groups. So if you're looking to transition into a different setting, maybe an NGO setting, manufacturing industry, so there are groups on LinkedIn, various groups from various industries. You get to learn things from there. There are also LinkedIn courses that are usually provided. So that also usually goes a long way as well. The 8th point, including appropriate skills. So the skills that you include in your LinkedIn have to be the skills that you're targeting related to the jobs you're interested in. So don't just include any kinds of skills. Remember here, you're focusing on recruiters to have a glance at your LinkedIn. So appropriate skill set in line with what you've done, not just any kinds of skills. Skills in line with the jobs you're looking to be headhunted for, or you're looking that a recruiter would consider you for a role. So appropriate skill sets, so both professional skills and soft skills, but in line with what you've been doing. Point number 9, there's usually a section of recommendations on LinkedIn. So here you can even prompt someone, maybe someone you worked with, maybe it could be your CEO, where they recommend you on a skill set. So if they recommend you, maybe you are the one who spearheaded a project, they even talk about the outcomes, how successful it was, that already stands out for me as a recruiter. Because I'll be like, oh, so a certain CEO recommended him, oh, a certain HR manager recommended him. He must be actually really good. That you've already made an impression there. And you just find them interesting you in a role just like that. So prompting people to give you, so normally there's usually a setting there. You can even inform them of what to incorporate, or for them, based on how they've worked with you, they'll be able to also fully articulate it in the right way. Point number 10, staying active. There is nothing that puts off a recruiter than a LinkedIn profile that's not updated. That is one thing that puts them off. And they can easily tell, because as they're skimming through these LinkedIn profiles, there's a ranking. So there are rankings that indicate this person is third, this person is second, this person is first. So the moment as a recruiter I see you're first, I know you're very active. Second, you're active, sometimes you're not active. Third, completely not active. So there's a way I can easily tell. So how do you be active? You need to post articles related to what you've been doing. You need to be consistent in liking posts, connecting with these recruiters, building your skill set through various courses. The more active you are, you easily get to land your dream opportunity. So in conclusion, having a well-crafted LinkedIn profile always goes a long way. It is very easy to land a job on LinkedIn, but how well it's structured will play a huge determining factor of whether you'll get that role or not. Also be keen, especially when they include a link of your LinkedIn URL. They will literally scrutinize you here in this section, because the URL also has to be well structured. The contents also of that LinkedIn has to be well structured. There is no shortcut there. So having a well done LinkedIn profile always goes a long way. So at Corporate Staffing, we review LinkedIn profiles. We also craft them. Of course, it's usually at a charge, at an affordable fee. So you guys can reach out and me and my team will be able to assist. Thank you.